What is going on, everybody? HS Rules, back again with another video. We're here for another Ring of Honor TV review. I'm going to go ahead and address it right off the rip. I've tried to film this video for the past 2 hours, but a lot of things have gotten into why I couldn't film it. Mainly bad weather, and the bad weather is going to continue. So, like I said, I'm going to try to make this a speedier episode of these ROH TV reviews. But before we get into the TV review portion, I would like to mention that there will be 2 Ring of Honor championship matchups taking place this weekend on AEW programming. The first one being on Rampage as Eddie Kingston defends his Continental Crown / Championship against the current Ring of Honor Pure Champion Wheeler Yuta. And on Collision, we will be seeing a 6-man tag team title match involving The Righteous and Lance Archer challenging the Gates of Agony and Brian Cage. So if any title change or anything else of importance comes on with involving Ring of Honor, I'll mention it on next week's review. Now, getting into this review, the 46th episode of this Honor Club area, our opening contest involved John Cruz versus Zach Knight. There is no code of honor. This leads to Knight landing a big boot and a beatdown involving a delayed suplex. He attempts a second delayed suplex, but Cruz fights out of it, and he also fights out of a buckle bomb attempt, and Cruz was able to get hit with a pop-up punch. Cruz was also able to land a Swanton bomb for a 2 count, but Knight wins the matchup with a buckle bomb and a running fist. That is his second victory in Ring of Honor. Next matchup is a quick matchup involving Tony Nese and Marcus Cross. Prior to the match, Nese insults the restaurants in North Carolina along with his opponent. Aside from Nese missing a moonsault and Cross hitting a elbow, it was a one-sided matchup with Nese hitting a pump handle pile driver to pick up the victory. It was not really a pump handle slam. It was more of a, like I said, it kind of was a pile driver positioning, so that's why I said a pump handle pile driver. Next matchup was for the TV Championship, Kyle Fletcher's second TV title defense. This matchup being against Angelico, which commentary mentioned that he is 5-6 in his last 6 matchups. Or, that is wrong. He's 5-1 in his last 6 matchups in Ring of Honor. If he was 5-6, it's not really a good record to get a title shot. We get wrist locks from both to start the match, and kick exchanges from both men, with Angelico landing an enziguri. Fletcher attempts a dive to the outside, but Angelico moves out of the way. Fletcher attempts a top rope slam, but Angelico gets out of it, and this leads to a close 2 count after he hits a roll-up, and after the roll-up, he locks in an ankle lock, but Fletcher is able to win the matchup after he lands a big drop kick and pile driver to retain his television championship. Next, we are scheduled to have an interview with Dalton Castle, but he is nowhere to be found until Lexi Nair finds him hiding in a laundry basket / cart. It was kind of one of those laundry carts that are on wheels, as he still has not been able to sleep ever since Final Battle and the events of getting cost the TV title by Johnny TV in the Survival of the Fittest match. And he does have the news that the board of directors said he can have a match against Johnny TV if Johnny TV agrees to it, and he knows that Johnny TV won't accept it if he asks. So he asked Lexi Nair to ask Johnny TV if he'll accept the matchup, which we'll find out his answer a little bit later. Next, we have a quick tag team matchup involving the Righteous and the Dawsons. The Dawsons have the sneak attack to start the matchup, which is normally what the Righteous do. And the Righteous get the advantage once Dutch comes in and wins the matchup for his team with a black hole slam. We have another tag team matchup following this one involving the Iron Savages and the Boys. The Boys get on top of each other's shoulders and try to lock up with Boulder, and surprisingly and seemingly, the Boys are the 2 legal men. Like, they stay in the matchup, both of them, the entire time, mainly against Boulder, who was able to slam both at one point, and then he tags in his partner Bronson to hit the elevator drop, meaning that the Iron Savages picked up the victory. Next matchup is Serpentico versus Cole Carter. These two have had beef for weeks after there's an 8-man tag involving the Spanish Announce Project, Griff Garrison and Cole Carter, and they were on the losing side, with each team blaming each other for the losses. Carter does not do the Code of Honor due to this, ongoing beef, and Serpentico recoups this with a tope suicida. Then, Maria Kanellis and Griff Garrison come to the ringside in the middle-ish of the match, and this distracts Serpentico, leading to Cole Carter picking up the victory with a roll-up. And then, Griff Garrison immediately comes in and starts jumping Serpentico, and Angelico comes out to save the day with a chair. Now, kind of made sense, and Angelico was able to join Serpentico as he had a TV title match up earlier, so we will see if this beef continues between all four men. We get the answer to Johnny TV's question as Lexinair interviews him and Taya Valkyrie, and he says no because Dalton Castle is not TV ready, but someone that is TV ready is Taya Valkyrie, as she wants to become the Women's or Ring of Honor Women's Television Championship. That is a lot of words to say just for one championship, and she does come to the conclusion that the initials TV could also stand for Taya Valkyrie. Next matchup is a 4-corner survival match. Lady Frost versus Trish Adora versus Queen Amida. It's either Amanita or Amida. I'm going to say Amida. I might be wrong with that. And Diamante. Amida and Adora are the first or the only two women in the matchup in the beginning because they tossed their opponents to the outside. They're able to land a double team Tower of Doom spot later on in the matchup, and Amida picks up the victory after landing double stomps onto Lady Frost. Next matchup is a very, very quick matchup. Josh Woods versus LeBron K-Zone. I did not go back and look. I thought when I initially looked, I noticed it was not LeBron with an E, and I feel like he has had a match in Ring of Honor before because I just now getting like a flashback that I feel like I've had this damn conversation before. So, LeBron with an A. We spent way too much time on it because, like I said, this was a quick matchup. Aside from LeBron landing a back elbow, it is a one-sided matchup with Josh Woods picking up the victory with a spinning uppercut. Next matchup is Robin Renegade versus Taya Valkyrie. This was a back-and-forth bout until Taya lands a Blue Thunder Bomb and a foot stomp for the victory. And the foot stomp does have a name. It's very fitting as it is named Shania Payne. If you get it, you get it. Next matchup is legit Layla Hirsch and Rachel Ellering versus Brittany Jade and Emily Hale. I almost made that name more difficult than I had to. Ellering and Hale are the first two legal women, even though Hirsch quickly tags in and lands a massive double stomp in the corner on Hale. This leads to Jade tagging in, even though Ellering and Hirsch exchange lots of tags in this matchup, with the last one being from Ellering. She hits the Boss Woman Slam on Jade to pick up the victory. But after the matchup, Abaddon comes out and stares down both Ellering and Hirsch, and commentary insinuates that Abaddon has her eyes on the Women's TV Championship. Next matchup, another 4-corner survival. Jack Cardwell, Slim J, Blake Christian, and Gravity. We get lots of cartwheels by Jack. I always have to specify, you get the point. His name's Jack Cartwheel. He does a lot of cartwheels. Gravity breaks up a pin that Christian has. Christian dives onto Cartwheel on the outside. Christian takes out Slim J's legs in the corner, and then Cartwheel does the same to him. Slim J hits a cutter that leads to a 2 count. Gravity hits a splash that also gets a 2 count. Then Jack hits cartwheels to the outside of the ring onto Gravity. Christian puts on a Texas Cloverleaf on Slim J to win the matchup. Now, earlier in the night, I combined both of these backstage segments, but Athena was not at the building for this episode, and Lexinair and Billy Starks celebrate. Lexinair suggests that they go partying, but Billy Starks cannot go to a club or drink because she's not of age yet. And she does plan on celebrating in the near future because she plans on becoming the Women's Television Champion. That time I didn't have to say Ring of Honor, even though I just said it now. But we do find out that Athena is at, I don't know exactly what school or training facility this is at, but she is there recuperating because she has been hurt and banged up, and she does have a bunch of other minions. I guess they're trainees, I should say. Minions does fit as well. Training, and that, like I said, Athena's taken time off, but guess what? Somebody knew she was there, and that person was Nyla Rose as she attacks Athena and some of the trainees. And this segment ends with Athena getting put through a loose door. Now, I don't know where it became popular to use like doors to put people through. And in the case of like a wrestling ring, I guess I don't understand why the damn door was like loose. Like a table, I understand. Again, I'm overthinking it. Athena got put through a door by Nyla Rose. We'll see where this goes. I'll be excited for that matchup. Next matchup is Christopher Daniels versus Big Shotty Lee Johnson. We get lots of wrist locks and headlocks in the beginning, with Daniels getting the upper hand. Like I said, this is a back and forth bout with lots of forearms as well, that Daniels picks up the victory after he hits an Angel's Wings. It is nice. I've reviewed a lot of Christopher Daniels matches in these 46 episodes, and he has lost a lot of them. So it's nice to see him pick up the victory here, as now we are on to our main event, 2 out of 3 falls match, the Infantry versus Shane Taylor Promotions, Shane Taylor and Lee Morarity. Earlier tonight, we get interviews from both sides. Morarity says that Shane Taylor Promotions are going to get paid 3 times because, there's 3 falls, even though logically, hey, you would want to only have 2 falls, but spoiler alert, there ends up being 3 falls. And that Shane Taylor was raised in a family that was in the Army, and he's going to treat the Infantry like that tonight. And then the Infantry do take umbrage with this, as a lot of the matchups that they have had have been multiple team matchups and singles matchups, not proper tag team matchups, and that they will take Shane Taylor Promotions to boot camp. Both teams charge at each other to start the matchup. The Infantry keep Morarity on their side of the ring to start the bout, but Taylor stops a boot camp attempt from happening. This leads to Taylor getting the first fall after he lands a big right hand on Sean Dean. The Infantry get the second fall, however, after they hit a Spicoli driver and both hit frog splashes on Morarity, meaning that it is tied now at 1-1. Dean and Taylor exchange forearms, and then a boot camp is hit on Taylor, but Morarity breaks up the pinfall attempt. And then Taylor hits a Uranagi on Dean, and this is followed by a Helluva kick and elevated DDT by Morarity to pick up the victory 2-1 for Shane Taylor Promotions. So, overall, I like this episode of Ring of Honor. I think I like 2 out of 3 falls matches. I was about to say, I don't know if there's ever been a bad 2 out of 3 falls match. But, if you gave me time, I could probably name some. But, like I said, looking forward to this matchup at the end. Kind of made the whole episode, worth it. So, we'll see what happens on next week's episode. Hopefully, everybody can stay safe and have a good weekend. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one.